In this lab, I'll be configuring cookie-based persistent profile on an F5 LTM. This is the setup we're going to be using in this lab. And this big IP is already configured. If we go to local traffic and network map, we're going to see that we've got 3 pool members for our 3 web servers, and they are added to a web pool. And this local web server's virtual server, which is configured with the IP address of 10.1.30.33. And this Palo Alto is also already set with NAT policies that will NAT the virtual IP to an IP address reachable from my internet modem, which is 192.168.100.233. Here are the security policy that allows outside to DMZ, and also the NAT policies. And the hit count of all of these are 0 for now, but as we go and generate traffic, the hit count is going to increase. And now we're going to go back to the big IP. Configuring the cookie persistent profile is a 2-step process. First, we have to create the persistent profile, and then we have to assign it to the web server. The cookie persistent profile will ensure that requests coming from same clients are going to be directed to the same pool member that big IP initially directed them to. And the cookie persistent profile depends and requires on the HTTP profile, which we already added over here. And for HTTPS traffic, it needs SSL profile, but we are using HTTP, so we're just gonna leave it like this. And we're gonna go to create the profile from profiles and then persistence. And we're gonna create a new profile. The name is going to be cookie persist, and the type is going to be cookie. The parent profile is cookie, and for now we're just going to keep the basic configuration. The basic configuration is going to give you the method of HTTP insert, which is the default. And in this method, Big IP creates a cookie named Big IP server with the pool name and insert it in HTTP response from the server, and it will contain information about the chosen server. And we can also set if we want the cookie to be encrypted, but for now we're just going to leave everything on default and just say finish. Then we're going to go to virtual servers to assign the profile to our virtual server, and click on it and go to resources. Before we assign the persistent profile here, we're gonna first browse to the virtual IP and see how the load balancing works before we assign it. So now we see that we have the 3 web servers showing, and we're just gonna go back and assign the cookie persistence. We can also assign a fallback persistent profile, but we're not gonna do this for now, and update. Now if we try again and refresh, you see that we're stuck with web server 1 and it's no more changing. And if we go to the settings of my browser and search for cookies and press here and go to see all cookies and site data, we see that we have this one cookie from our virtual IP that was NATed by the Palo Alto. And if we enter here, we see that the name is Big IP server with the name of our pool and the content and all the information. Now we are going to go back to the Big IP, go back to profiles and persistence, open the persistent profile we just made, and press on custom. We're going to leave the cookie method as it is. We're going to change the cookie name to lab Big IP persist, and we're going to require the encryption and also set a encryption phrase and update. Now I'll go back and try to refresh again. Now we got another server and we're stuck with server 3 now. And if I go again to the settings and go back, we see that now one cookie changed to 2 cookies, and now we have this new cookie with the new name we set. It's called lab big IP, and the content is encrypted. And if we go back to the Palo Alto and refresh, we can see that the out to DMZ hit count changed to 64. Also, if we go to security policy, we're gonna get the hit count on out to DMZ that became 173. Now we're gonna try to access the web servers from these inside PCs. We're gonna go to VLAN 10's PC1, open Firefox, and type the IP of 192.168.100.233, and we got server 2, and if we refresh, we're stuck with server 2. Now we're going to try from VLAN 2's PC2, open Firefox, and type the virtual IP 10.1.30.33 and enter. And now we got server 1, and even if we refresh, we're still on server 1. And if we go back to the Palo Alto and refresh, we can see that VLAN 20 to the DMZ is now 12 hit counts, and VLAN 10 to DMZ is 16 hit counts. So that's it, and we have configured cookie-based persistent profile.